Alright, just checking to see if we are good to go. We have sound. Check, check, check. Sound. We do. Son of a gun, we have sound. That is awesome. Welcome, everybody. So I wanted to just do this to show everybody what's going on. But first of all, wanted to show what's going on with the signals, because the signals are kicking ass, and because we don't do no FOMO homo trading here. So the signals I've been sending out to the group have been kicking ass. We are up a ton on the 3 signals that I sent out. Let me show those to you. Let me just do something real quick, and then we'll do that. So I'll be right back. Excuse me. But you can see the US 30 is going up. I sent out a call on the US 30 to buy it 35,891, and we're up almost 100 points on that one. I sent out a signal to buy the GA at 181.63, and we're up over 100 on that one. So we're up massive amounts of profits on these signals. I'll send this to you here just in a second. I'm just getting the word out a little bit more, so just hold on a second. But all of these signals right now are making massive amounts of money. And I'm going to show it to you. I just got to do one more thing here real quick. Alright, there we go. Alright, so let's go back here real quick. And then, the hell? There we go. Alright, perfect. Bro, what? Nico, what's up? Bro, what's up? Alright, perfect. What's up, bro? Okay, so we're going to show this to you right here. I'll pull up the signals real quick from yesterday. Okay, if you look at the signals, Iron Man, sexy signals, because that's what they are. They're sexy. And you can't argue with the truth. And even if you try and argue with the truth is still the truth. So no one really cares. Okay, so there's the signal on the US 30 yesterday to buy US 30 at 35,891. And there's the signal to buy the GA at 181.63. So let's go look at those 2 pairs right now. So we bought the US 30 at 35,891 and the GU. So let's just go look at those signals, because both those are kicking ass right now. And gold, we bought gold as well, and we made money on that. Gold ended up stopping us out, probably at break even. So we bought the US 30 at 35,891. And if you can see right now, where's the US 30 right now? Oh, that's right, it's at 35,952. So we're up 60 points. It's gone down a little bit, but stop should be at least at break even or in profit on the US 30. So we bought in at 35,891, and it's coming down a little bit right now. What's up, man? Damnesty, what's going on, brother? Okay, so we did that one on the signal. That one's coming down a little bit right now, so we might take profit on that. So that's good. That was over 100 points on that one so far, though. Well, right now I'm doing the US 30, and I'm just showing the signal I sent out to my signal group yesterday in the US 30, and then on the pound Aussie we bought in at 181.63. So if you look at the 1 hour chart, it's really hard to see 181.63 because we're way above that. So we bought in at 181.63 on the pound Aussie, which would be down here, way down here, and we're up over 100 points on that. So the signals have been kicking ass. Okay, kicking ass. We got in right about there, 181.63. So we are up almost 140 points on on the pound Aussie. Okay, so, but we are coming up into a resistance area on the pound Aussie, so I sent out the signal to put your stops at least at plus 60 on the pound Aussie. So let's go back to that real quick and just look at that, because we have the signals that I showed you guys right here. Buy the US 30 at 35,891. That's the one we just did, and the pound Aussie. So there it is right there, showing you guys that this group is probably the best group out there, and it's probably not even close, because we know what we're doing trading wise, and we aren't scalping pussies. We don't look for 10 pip scalp pussies like most of the other traders or most of the other streamers. We're not pussies that only do 10 pip scalps, because we know how to actually read the market, and we're not pussies like them who only get 10 pip scalp trades because they don't know how to read the markets. Okay, so let's look at gold right now. Gold is going obviously a little bit crazy this morning. We have 12 minutes left before this 1 hour candle closes. If this 1 hour candle were to close like this on gold, I would be buying gold. Absolutely 100% buying gold, because that tail is longer than the body of the candle. That's what I look for if I want to buy. So if it were to close like this in 12 minutes, I would absolutely be buying this. Got to figure out why my connection on my other thing isn't as good as it needs to be. So let me just do that real quick. That's kind of weird, but that's typical. Alright, so if we get a candle close like that with a tail longer than the body of the candle at the end of the 1 hour candle, I will be buying gold again, because that's what the pattern tells me to do, right? And like we talk about all the time, the pattern is the pattern, and we take the pattern when the pattern happens. What's going on, brother? So if the pattern closes like this with the tail longer than the body of the candle, we will be buying gold, and the stops will be below the low of that tail, so it's going to be a little deeper stop, right? Because the tail is at 1786 right there. So if we get this in 10 minutes, I will be taking that trade on gold. Absolutely, unequivocally. Just all sexy, no non-sexy. That's what we do. All right. So I'll be right back, guys. Just give me a few seconds. He says, what's this? It looks like gold. It's gold. If you're asking what the chart is, it's gold. Camille, there were lots of buys. Actually, it went up every time. So I don't know what you're talking about. Every time you had the signal to buy, it went up. Now it didn't hold. It didn't hold those, and it went down again. But every time you had a buy signal, it went up. So we'll see. We'll see. But if it closes like that, we're going to take that trade. And there's going to be no questions about that, right? Just because that's the way it is. We take that trade because that's what the numbers say to do, or that's what the pattern says to do, and when the pattern sets up, I take the trade. So if it ends like this, we're definitely going to be taking that trade. If it doesn't give us the pattern we're looking for, then we'll just move on to the next. Right? We'll just move on to the next if the pattern doesn't give us what we want. And right now it has kind of a tail end, a little bit of a wick, so I don't want that. I'd want it to be a little more clean than that, but we'll see. We have 8 minutes left in this candle on the 1 hour. And if it gives us the signal and gives us the opportunity to buy, we're going to buy it. All the higher time frames on gold are still bullish. I was in another chat room this morning where they're trying to tell me that the higher time frames weren't bullish. They're full of crap. They don't know what they're talking about. All the higher time frames are still bullish on gold. I don't care what anyone says to you. They don't know what they're talking about. All higher time frames on gold are still bullish. And when I mean all higher time frames, I mean the daily, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. All of them are an uptrend. I don't care what anyone else tells you. They're wrong. It's an uptrend. Okay? But the problem is you got a bunch of amateurs that think they know what they're talking about, that like to go into places and sound smart, and they're not really smart. They're not smart. They don't sound smart, but they like to think that they're smart, but they're not. All higher time frames are an uptrend. So if we want to trade with the trend, we want to look for opportunities to buy, and we might get that. And this could be a total fake out. You never know, and we could lose. You know, I mean, I could buy this and I could lose, and that's okay. I'm not afraid to lose. Okay, I ain't a 10 pip scalping pussy. All right, losses are a part of the game. Okay, every now and again you're going to lose. I know that's hard for people to understand when, you know, that losses happen and that you somehow can avoid losses, but losses are going to happen. Okay, so we are looking for buys on gold, possibly sells on the GDP Aussie, because it looks like we might be getting a sell pattern. But it says, I mean, at least those two candles 5 to 6 hours ago. Well, you set your stops. You set your stops at, Camille. You set your stops at once you're up 30 to 40 points. You set your stops at break even. So even if you're talking about those candles 5 to 6 hours ago, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even these maybe this one up here, right? This one might have lost. Absolutely, that one lost, and these two might have lost. You're right. Those two might have lost, and that's fine. Like I said, losses are a part of the game. But this sell right here, because you had a sell, right? You had a sell right before the buys on the 1 hour, because that candle right there had a wick at the top longer than the body, right? So you had a sell that would have worked out really nice. You would have had two buys that maybe didn't work out, but if you're in the sell, you don't get out of that sell right there to get into the buys, right? The only time you don't take the trade is if you're in the opposite trade to the other side, right? So you would have been in a sell right there, and you would have made really good money. And then if you weren't in the sells and you took those buys, you would have lost, and that's okay. Losses are a part of the game. But over the long run, you're going to be right around 85% of the time if you just follow that simple pattern. And it's always amazing to me, you know, I go into these other streams and stuff like that, and I give the pattern, they're like, oh my gosh, this pattern is so awesome. And then it's like, I've just given you as close as there is to the holy grail of trading, and you're still doing what you were doing before, which was causing you to lose. So it's quite interesting that, I mean, this pattern is so damn easy, and it makes more money than God himself, probably, to be honest with you. I'm kidding, of course. Don't shoot me down. Okay, but if you just go over on the GJ every time you've had the pattern, this one's close because you have a tail, you have a wick at the top, so we're not gonna. That one you would have lost right there. These ones that one you might have lost right there, and that's okay. Again, that's okay. But that one right there, the last 1 hour buy candle, you would be doing really, really well on, right? So again, every now and again you're going to lose, and there might be a cluster of losses, but over the long run you're going to be right 85% of the time. So this one you would have gotten in at 154.89, and you'd be up on that right now, right? So that last one that just happened right now, oops, excuse me, you'd be up on right now on the GJ. I expect the GJ to go back up. Okay, I expect the GJ to go back up. Does that mean it's going to go back up? Does that mean I'm right? No. But everything that goes up or everything that goes down must come back up. Now, you have to look for what are your major support and resistance areas. This is an area that it's obviously bounced off before. October 12th at this 154.89 area was a significant area of support. So we'll see what happens. But on the GJ, all you have to do is you just have to look for the pattern, right? It's the same thing as all those other pairs. I'm just looking for the pattern. If the pattern sets up with what I'm looking for, then I'm going to take the trade. If the pattern doesn't set up with what I'm looking for, I'm not going to take the trade. So it's really, really, really simple. My way of trading is extremely simple. Is the pattern there? Is it the close of the 1 hour candle? If it is, then I take the trade. If it's not, then I don't take the trade. It's extremely simple. So, and it looks like we have what, 2 minutes left. The GJ might be the one that's setting up right now as well, because you have another pattern that looks like it's a buy pattern. So in the next 2 minutes, the GJ might set up again. If it does, then you take the trade, right? Because you know that 85% of the time you're going to be right. Then should there be any emotions in trading? If you know you're going to be right that many times, right? 85% of the time, should there be any emotions in trading? Should there be any emotions in trading at all if you know you're going to be right 85% of the time? The answer is no. There should be no emotions. You should be a robot at that point. And you know that you're going to lose sometimes, right? But the majority of the times you're going to win. Then you take the damn trade. So the GJ is pushing a little bit up. It's trying to give us the signal. It still has a little bit of a wick at the top. So on this one, it would be, you know, up to your discretion. It's pretty close. We'll just see. It's simple. Yeah, and trading doesn't have to be complicated, right? Trading doesn't have to be complicated. People make it way too complicated because they don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about. So they have to try and make it complicated. It's not complicated. It's really not. It's not meant to be complicated, and it doesn't have to be complicated. So we have 1 minute left, and I'm not seeing anything yet. And if we don't get anything, I'm definitely not going to sit here for another hour and wait for another candle close. I'm going to go fishing today, fly fishing. So I'm going to hit the river here soon if there's nothing that sets up here in a minute. Like I said, the signals group, if you haven't checked out my signals group is kicking ass. I showed you guys this early in the stream, those of you who weren't here. If you look at these last two signals, and the gold signal up here was good, but if you look at these last two signals for my signals group, the first one was to buy the US 30 at 35,891. So let's go look at that. Let's go look at that one because I think that one's doing pretty well, right? 35,891 was the buy signal on the US 30. Where's the US 30 at right now? 35,990. So you'd be up over 100 points on that one. No on gold because it has a tail end of wick on it. If you look at that tail end of wick on gold, I don't want to do that one yet. Okay, so the trade on the signal on the US 30 from my signal group is up over 100 points. And then this one right here was the pound Aussie. This second one, pound Aussie right here, buy at 181.63 for my signal group. That's also up over 100 points. So if you look at those two signals right there, that's over 200 points. We're 6 for 6 this week on signals. And last week, I think we were 8 for 8. So we haven't lost in a good while. It's been a hot minute since we've lost. We will lose. There will be losses. That's just part of the game, like we said. No on gold. Again, on gold, let me just show you. Again, what do we need on gold? We need a tail longer than the body with no wick at the top, right? That candle has both. I guess that candle would be kind of a... You would have to make up your mind on that one. That one's close, right? But it does have a wick at the top right there. So I would really like that to have no wick, but I think it's going to work. So I might just take that trade. You tap in. It's a paid service though, Nino and Speed. So just so you know, because I've been doing this for a long time and I never apologize. So it's a paid service. Okay, and I don't apologize because my time is valuable to me. But we've made massive amounts of money, and we make massive amounts of money. And I offer a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you don't make money to pay for the service, you get your money back. But just on those two signals, you would have made it. And I think we're over 85% since I started the signal group back up. But I do believe gold is going to go back up. Okay, I'm a believer in gold being bullish over the long run. But I'm going to wait for a little bit better signal on that before I do it. But you can get a hold of me on Ironman Futures Trading on Instagram if you want to, and I'll type it into the chat here. Ironman Futures Trading on Instagram if you want to become a member of the group. But it is a paid service, and like I said, I don't apologize for that, and never will, because my time is extremely valuable to me. My dad always says that, and my dad is a wealthy man. He always says that the most valuable currency is time. You never get it back. So if you're going to join my service, you're going to pay for my time, and I'll never apologize for that. All right, but you can get a hold of me on Instagram, and we can chat about it there. I'm going to take off, guys. I didn't want to do this very long. I'm going to go fishing. So get the fly rod out and do some fishing this morning. So if you have any questions, you can get a hold of me on Instagram. I'm always around. But if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to take off and go enjoy myself because I deserve it, damn it. And because I want to. And I get to do whatever the hell I want, whenever the hell I want. That's called freedom to me. All right, we'll talk to you guys later.